Hey, it's Pauline from Chronically Spicy, and tonight um, I'm going to I'm doing double duty. I'm keeping my ADHD brain happy while I work on Christmas tree ornaments for myself. This one's going to be for myself, and an order for 5 custom F-bomb Christmas ornaments for one of my clients. That's what this is for. But that's because my brain needs more than one thing to focus on to be able to focus on one thing, if that makes any sense. It's kind of like the chicken and the egg. Just don't think about it too hard. All right, so let's go. I figure I want to try to respond to. I want to start making my lives, my YouTube content a little more regularly, which means posting on YouTube more often than I do on TikTok. And this also means that I can add things to playlists and I can add links to description boxes, reference links, etc., which is not something that I can do on other apps. So this is a way for me to hopefully be able to leave a better or easier to find digital footprint for those who may need answers to questions or at least be pointed in the right direction. I'm not a medical professional. I'm not pretending to be one. I am not giving medical advice. In all honesty, I'm going to be sharing personal experience. I'm a freelance writer. I've written for 20 years, been published nationally in many mainstream publications, and I know how to research. I know how to read peer-reviewed medical journals. I know how to translate all this stuff into layman's terms, and that's what I'm here for. Share my experience and, well, see what we think from there. Let's get into the first video, shall we? All right. Share this one now.
All you have to do is lose about 40 pounds, and I promise you it's going to resolve all your problems. No, wait.
There we go.
Maybe if you lose 10 to 15 pounds, I think it's going to fix your issue.
Okay. This is one of my
Maybe you should
initials.
try to change your diet. You know, that's just a simple fix. You know how many people have heard this from doctors over and over and over again? You're literally speaking with women with high cortisol issues, and no matter what they do, they can't drop the weight. So you're telling them to lose weight and they can't drop it. I get sick and tired of the comments that I get of, I lost 40, 30 pounds and this diet change and it fixed me, so you're not doing something right. You don't know what a person is dealing with in their body. I could have the healthiest, most perfect diet, lose weight, which I don't need to, and all of the comorbidities that I have will not go anywhere because they're congenital. I've had them since birth. Me losing 40 pounds, it's not going to release pressure off of my jugular vein compression. It's not going to cause my vascular malformation in my leg to go away. We need to stop giving out inaccurate advice. What may work for you, it worked for you, but that doesn't mean it's going to work for somebody else. Do you understand? We need to have respect when it comes to what we tend to comment on other people's platforms, because a lot of times people are making assumptions. It worked for you, but that doesn't mean it's going to work for me. Like I said, what do you tell the person who has high cortisol levels, can't get their cortisol down, they don't change their diet, they don't exercise, and they're still not losing the weight? What's your answer to that?
All right. Stop sharing. So this is the invisible diagnosis on TikTok. Make sure you follow her. I will. You can. I'm going to include the chunk of 10 videos that I wanted to reply to and share with you from my fellow content creators in the description box on this video. Make sure if you're interested in, I guess, the self-detective version, the mystery illness version of we are the advocates who are fighting for our own or fighting and learning, and having to educate ourselves because our doctors are too busy telling us that it's just inside of our heads that we are, it's just our anxiety. It's probably just depression. Drop a few pounds, you'll feel better. Meanwhile, they're completely ignoring the fact that, you know, we're presenting with obvious physical symptoms, or they're congratulating us on, losing 20 pounds, even though we only lost that 20 because for the last 6 months we haven't been able to eat anything but 5 foods without going into anaphylaxis. The other problem I see a lot is when doctors see, and this is in the ER and in primary care, uh, when doctors see anxiety and literally, like, you can actually, like, hear their, like, thought. I imagine a thought bubble over their head, where they're fist pumping themselves, like, yeah, because they've solved the riddle, um, and it's just anxiety. Have you ever thought to consider, Doc, that the anxiety might be the symptom and not the diagnosis? Because guess what? That's what it was for me. I never have anxiety alone. I have anxiety with angioedema, anxiety with an intense and frequent need to urinate. I have anxiety with my salivary gland shutting down. I have anxiety with my tongue literally getting stuck to my teeth. I have anxiety with my lips and cheeks swelling so badly I look like I'm storing food for the freaking winter like a chipmunk. Like, I have anxiety with welts and hives. I have anxiety that is a symptom with at least one other body or organ system, because the anxiety would be cognitive and makes also contributes to tachycardia and anxiety itself, panic attacks, and yeah, let's just say the invisible diagnosis knows exact. I love her content because she's looking at everything the same way I do and trying to self-analyze and learn everything she can to educate herself so that she can be an informed participant in her care when she is speaking with her doctors to try and figure out all of the chronic health issues she's had over the years and is currently dealing with. Because I'm not going to lie, sometimes this stuff doesn't get looked at unless we literally don't shut up about it. Bottom line. And it gets really old, especially when we know that some of these conditions can worsen the longer we go undiagnosed. So follow the invisible diagnosis on TikTok and see what you can learn from her. She's brilliant. Let's go to the next one. 1 minute. Second video. All right. Now, we share What is up with this one? How do you open that? Copy. Oh, okay, I thought that was in one. Okay, just making sure. Making sure I didn't mess that up. All right, now let's go to this one. Pause to read if you need to on this one. I will read the people through. Neuroimaging tells us that people with POTS can have structural and functional differences in the brain and spinal cord. In people with POTS, the brain does not receive enough blood flow, and there are possible changes in the volume of cerebrospinal fluid. People with POTS can respond positively to medications, therapies, and surgical interventions that impact the central nervous system. My daughter has POTS, so this is like really important for me. Which suggests that POTS might not only be an autonomic nervous system disorder, but also a central nervous system disorder involving the brain and spinal cord. POTS symptoms such as headache, brain fog, fatigue, dizziness, and sleep problems are issues concerning the central nervous system. That right there, 100% is my kid. All right, this is Potsy Mom Heather. All of the links from the videos that I am replying to or responding to and sharing are going to be linked in the description box for this video. So make sure you stop by and make sure you follow those that are interesting to you or those that you relate with, because there's a lot of really good stuff here. All right, let's see. Get to the next one. Yeah. I did my entire life. All right. Okay, this is the pillow fort system, and that video came across my For You page, and I decided I was going to respond to this one because one second, because I was diagnosed with PMDD a long time ago. Interestingly enough, it's not even brought up anymore at any of my appointments, because once I was diagnosed with mast cell activation syndrome, they're like, oh, yeah, that's the problem. Because, yes, mast cell activation syndrome, POTS, EDS, ADHD, autism, all PMDD, and even fibro tend to travel in like a pack. All right. Like we refer to, it used to be, I thought, it used to be, from what I was seeing, referred to as the trifecta, right? It was a trifecta: MCAS, POTS, EDS. And then I'm like, no, trifecta means 3. That would mean just 3. But if POTS, EDS, MCAS, almost certainly, in many cases, also mean being neurodivergent, then that's not 3. And according to what I was taught at the Mayo Clinic this past summer, after being a patient there the entire, well, for most of 2023, 2024, and diagnosed with an entire laundry list of conditions. Turns out that if you have if you have EDS, you are 90% more likely to have fibromyalgia. Also, look up the book, The Mayo Clinic Official Guide to Fibromyalgia by Dr. Barbara Bruce. She's the doctor that taught the class. She diagnosed me and my daughter at the Mayo Clinic this past summer. And our graduation present from the class was a copy of her book. It's available on Amazon and wherever, other major retailers. No, she doesn't know I am, shouting on her book. I'm not getting any money for mentioning this. And I'm just out there. I'm just sharing the information in case you're interested, because I've had some really interesting responses whenever I bring up the the EDS fibro connection, and even had some people tell me, wait a second, what do you mean if you have EDS, 90%, 80 to 90% chance that you also have fibro? Because a lot of people are saying, once I was diagnosed with one, the other one that I had already been diagnosed with is taken off the table. And let's say, for example, one of my followers has had a long-standing EDS diagnostic, right? And they get diagnosed with fibro, and the doctor's like, all right, well, that's obvious. That obviously was a problem the entire time. So we're going to remove EDS from your medical record, because it's not, apparently there's still people who, medical professionals who think you can't have both. I would highly recommend reading the Mayo Clinic official guide to fibromyalgia, Dr. Barbara Bruce. Okay. And that was why I shared that. Also, know that actually the last thing I'll reply to on that video from this content creator is the 2 things. One, we can't know something is not normal if it's the only thing we've ever known, because that is our normal. I didn't know that I even had chronic pain until I was sitting at the Mayo Clinic at 40 freaking 7 years old, when I was diagnosed with EDS, fibro, chronic pain, gastroparesis, Behçet's disease, which also was apparently tied to mast cell activation syndrome. And I had my mast cell activation syndrome confirmed because I had been diagnosed clinically. and it was confirmed through quantifiable blood testing at the Mayo Clinic. So yeah, like tell my doctors who like, yeah, it's all in your head, just lose 10 pounds. I may be setting up appointments soon to stop by for an appointment and gladly paying the copay so I can wait in the office, so I can be called into the room, and I can wait for you to come in, hand you a copy of the Mayo Clinic diagnostic list that includes everything you told me I was over exaggerating, making up, or just trying to get attention on, because I did not present typically, and I did not have. I think you can't possibly have that, because this test that isn't even the right test for the condition that I say you don't have. Uh, yeah. I was right. Okay. I was right. And because of you and you and you and you and you, over the last 17 years, I got worse and worse and worse, because doctors kept saying to me, it's all in your head. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um, Thank you. For taking that Hippocratic oath you took when you earned that doctorate and you earned that white coat. Thank you for taking that Hippocratic oath seriously. Um, Thank you for paying attention on the day in medical school when it was hopefully explained that sometimes anxiety is a symptom and not just the diagnosis. You haven't won any prizes because you figured out that your patient has anxiety. You know what? A lot of people with MCAS or anaphylactic reactions have anxiety, because guess what? That's not easy, and it's scary as hell. And last point on that one. Yes, hormonal fluctuations can trigger mast cell activation reactions, along with barometric pressure changes, climate, weather changes, like seasonal shifts in the weather, other people's hormones. I respond to my daughter's hormones, she responds to mine. Eating foods high in histamine, drinking things high in histamine, eating leftovers, anything slow cooked, dehydrated, pickled, aged, fermented, or cured. There's a lot. And by the way, only about 30% of patients with mast cell activation syndrome actually show elevated tryptase even during a flare. That means that 30%, wait a minute, you're missing 70% of the population, because the test only catches about 30% of people, because the rest of us do not have elevated tryptase, even when we are flaring. And you're confusing mastocytosis diagnostics with mast cell activation diagnostics. If you are a medical professional, I highly recommend that you look up Dr. Lawrence Afrin. You can watch his podcast appearances. You can read his book, Never Bet Against Occam. You can read the many peer-reviewed journals he's been in, he's had published. You can, hell, call him up, schedule an appointment, a consult. ask. He will work with you and your patients. I don't know how much he charges. I know it's not cheap, but the man is world renowned for a reason. Uh, and you need to learn more than you know, because I literally just had an allergist tell me last week that they won't, no allergist in the area is going to take an MCAS patient because not enough is known about the condition. He said it with a straight face. He actually meant it. You have no idea how proud I am um, for not losing my mind when he said that. Um, because one second, where am I? I lost my page. There we go. Here we go. Yeah. So anyway, that's that on that. Dr. Lauren Zafran Consensus 2. Look that up if you suspect you have MCAS and you don't fit the actual typical testing profile. You look up MCAS Consensus 1 and then look up MCAS Consensus 2. There's validity to both, but I think it's very important for patients to be informed that the testing that doctors are insisting on is actually the testing that's appropriate for mastocytosis and not MCAS, because MCAS is just it. Mastocytosis is an overproliferation of mast cells in our system, which means we're automatically going to have too much histamine than our body can handle pouring into our system, causing anaphylactoid reactions. Mast cell activation syndrome is not mastocytosis. That means that we have normal amounts of mast cells in our system. They're just overreactive and go off like a bad fire alarm, a smoke alarm, anytime the wind shifts the wrong way. One second. I'm doing this right now. So, yeah. Anyway, I found it on Google. I don't have a medical degree. You should be able to find it on Google too. Moving on. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Did we do this one yet? 1 second, that's too loud. Who is this? Yep, it's Tracy Rodriguez. I actually do follow her, but I'm logged in on a different. Oh, because I don't log into TikTok on my laptop. But this is Tracy Rodriguez, and I will read to you what she has on the screen. Okay, she is a histamine AD. Her bio reads Tracy ADHD pain relief. She wrote histamine, ADHD pain, histamine intolerance, hashtag ADHD, neurodivergent, ADHD in women, for you, MCAS, hypermobile. Basically, she's like my bosom buddy. And she has great content to share. So definitely check her out. And I will include this. This one is one of the links that will be shared in the video. Now let's watch it. Clearly, someone is finally telling you that you're neurodivergent. Histamine could be a big part of why your muscular tension and pain is so severe. She's about to take a sip of her name brand coffee, purchased, I assume, from the assumed place with a drive through. And had that wait a minute, what? Moment look on her face. And was like, what? Are you kidding, right? Yeah, it takes a while for the two to connect. And it's true for me and my daughter. So definitely follow Tracy. She's also on Facebook, so you can find her on Facebook as well. Okay, so let's go to the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe I'll just do 5 next time. Okay, 1 second. We're going to pause this for a second. I'm going to move this all the way to the beginning. Okay, now this is going to be a hot take, and it's probably going to peeve some people off. So I'm going to take a second here and just work on this so I can get myself ready. So then I'll apply to this one, and I know people are going to be peeved. And I've already been blocked on TikTok by this gentleman, but he can't block me over here, and I have the right to my opinion. So I will be saying that. Give me 1 second. Oops. Can you see what that says? Yeah, it looks good. Okay. Good precursor. Now let's watch the video. Ready? 1 second. That's not loud enough. Let me go back. Let's turn the volume up. All right. This is Dr. Autoimmune on TikTok. Let's see what he has to say. The words on the screen say ferritin. His description says iron anemia is a very this is the description for this video. It says iron anemia is very common and can cause tachycardia, fatigue, depression, anxiety, hair loss, amenorrhea, loss of period, postural POTS, and needs to be screened through ferritin, although blood loss can occur from pathology. The most common root cause is SIBO or dysbiosis and not menstrual cycle issues. This man is obsessed with dysbiosis as like the root cause of like every physical ailment, chronic illness, and autoimmune disorder. He even said in one video that a woman who is living with the most severe case of MCAS I think I've ever seen, and many people have ever seen, because she was covered by 60 Minutes. She can't even be around her husband for more than 5 minutes because she responds to his hormones. She eats the same 3 meals, or like she has like 15 foods she can eat at all, and she can't be outside for longer than not necessary, because like just going outside could actually literally end her life because she is that allergic. And without ever having seen her, this gentleman decided that he knew enough without, in my estimation, reading past the headline of maybe one or two stories about her and not doing an actual deep dive to see that she was a patient of Dr. Lawrence Afrin's, and have the gall to say that if this woman could just find functional medicine, she could live again. So that's the background on this one. And now let's hear what he has to say on anemia and ferritin. Hello. Why is it not? Where? One second. That is not what I wanted. Where are you? There we go. I have to share this. That's why. Screen share. Understanding. There we go.
Standing, maybe you're getting really high heart rate, going upstairs. All these are pointing towards the direction of anemia. Unfortunately, most physicians do not actually properly screen for it, and really it becomes actually a problem-solving mechanism as far as what's causing it. So although there are pathology and pathological reasons for iron deficiency and anemia, meaning like blood loss from the gut that should be worked up, what actually seems to happen most commonly with patients that we work with is that they actually are suffering from malabsorption. Now, again, the most important marker that you test is ferritin. Ferritin is a protein associated with iron storage and very commonly is left out on blood panels. Ferritin less than a 20, that is anemia, and that dictates workup.
Okay, now we're going to stop this right here. No, stop. We are not going to talk about BC and the MFR gene. I want to point something out. Okay. Changing lives through functional medicine. Need more info? Below, he says. All right, so we're going to click on that. Okay. We're going to go to Linktree. We're going to share this instead. Now, I am merely pointing out Dr. Autoimmune, who is publicly diagnosing strangers he's never seen or treated in person, and talking about dysbiosis, SIBO, gut health, and how that affects a number of body systems and how chronic illness can be cured if we just find functional medicine. Well, let's meet him, shall we? This is his website. And share this tab instead. Okay. Our philosophy of care. As a leading functional medicine center based out of Colorado, we will work with you to create a customized health plan, discover our effective methods for delivering debilitating symptoms, and resetting your immune system. We help patients with all autoimmune conditions, thyroid disease, and those who live with depression, anxiety, and ADD, ADHD. Oftentimes, our treatments can help reduce or eliminate the need to take prescription drugs. The best part is that we offer 100% remote care for those who don't live in the area. Our wellness specialists are here to empower you and provide you with natural solutions that promote optimal health. I want you to pay attention to something here, okay? Dr. Autoimmune, all right? DC, doctor of chiropractic. He's a chiropractor. Dr. Ian Holloman, DC, MSc, and IFMCP. I believe the last one is his. He has a certificate from a certification from a functional medicine program that I read up on, and it allows medical professionals to apply what they learn in their functional medicine courses to their practice within the scope of the law as is allowed by the state in which they live. I do not know what the scope of practice is in Colorado, but I will say this. If my cat's sick, I'm not taking it to the auto mechanic. And if my car is sounding weird, I'm not taking it to my vet. I'm not going to a functional medicine doctor. Actually, if I see a functional medicine doctor pop up in my feed, I always check. And every one of them so far has been a chiropractor. Every one of them. I even found one who said she cured cancer in one of the patients, and that you could think yourself well. So please, I am not judging. I've been down this pipeline myself. I wasted a lot of time, a lot of money, and actually was made sicker in the process because I did not know that all of the recommended supplements you have to buy, because they can't prescribe medications, were making me worse. I was making bone broth. I was drinking kombucha. Because fermented. It's good for you. I was making my own homemade pickle, homemade relish. Do you know how sick I made myself? I made myself so freaking sick. It was ridiculous. And yeah, I finally got off that train. I'm not saying there aren't good functional medicine doctors. I had one. He was a functional medicine doctor with an MD. He could actually prescribe. But the chronic illness, the functional medicine doctor certification trend I'm seeing is it's probably a chiropractor, and they are going to have a store with supplements that you can buy. None of them are going to be cheap. They're not going to accept insurance. Most of them aren't anyway. And they're going to be looking at a lot of things that one would not normally associate with what a chiropractor is meant, or what a chiropractor is understood to have knowledge in. I'm not saying that Dr. Autoimmune is doing anything he should not be. Because I don't know the scope of law in the state of Colorado. I am simply stating that I hope before you decide to give anybody your hard-earned cash, because the mainstream medical system is literally creating this problem by ignoring us because we're hard to deal with. We're complex patients, and nobody's listening to us. So we go running and we hear, I'll listen to you. I believe you. I'm validating your experience. And what does that do to us? We're human. We're human. Somebody doesn't think we're crazy anymore. We're going to freaking listen. We're going to cut that check. We're going to tighten the budget to make this happen. And we're going to get better because this doctor said that we can get better. As far as I understand it, this is just from, in my understanding, functional chiropractors. How do I phrase this? Let's just say I was not aware that chiropractors could diagnose autoimmune conditions or chronic illnesses, and I was not aware that chiropractors could cure chronic illnesses that world-renowned experts like Dr. Lawrence Afrin and world-respected publications like JAMA, the NIH, PubMed, Very Well Health, the NCIB, not National Public Library. I think I said the wrong acronym, but anyway, all of the peer-reviewed medical journals, all of the articles and podcasts that Dr. Lawrence Safran has appeared on, spoken on, and when he's been contacted by other professionals for his opinion on their tough medical cases. Apparently, you know more than they do. So, if you happen to see this, Dr. Ian, I would get on that, okay? Make sure you contact the NIH. Make sure you contact JAMA. And make sure you let Dr. Lawrence Safran know that somehow in this home mix, he completely missed the cure for MCAS because yeah, I'm not buying it. And I really, really hope that patients who truly have MCAS, because I do believe that doctors like this are helping some who, if you find relief with programs like this, you most likely had quote unquote just histamine intolerance. I am not invalidating or minimizing. I am simply differentiating because I went through a period where I wasn't sure if I had both MCAS and histamine intolerance or just one or the other. And turns out it was both. But yeah, because it's both, it's more complex and a little bit more serious. And you most certainly need a medical professional who can diagnose and properly counsel you on lifestyle changes and very necessary medications that are meant and necessary for many of us to survive and have some quality of life. And by the way, this is for Dr. Ian and every other chiropractor out there who has already blocked me on TikTok for calling them out. If your theory about root cause and mast cell activation was true, fix the root cause. You'll be fine. Just find functional medicine. You'll be able to live again. My root cause was pregnancy. So someone do me a favor. Explain to me how that theory holds water if I gave birth 17 years ago and I still have mast cell activation syndrome. Because according to this theory, I should have pushed the MCAS out with the baby. Unfortunately, I pushed some of the MCAS out with the baby, along with some of the POTS and the EDS and the autism and the ADHD and the connective tissue disorder and the mast cell activation, right? But I just got worse. So, if your theory was correct, then I should have been fine the second I pushed that baby out. But it didn't happen. So, moving on. Mm-hmm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see if I have done this one. Okay. This is going to be the last one we're going to do tonight. Let me go first, 1 second, over to respond. Let me find the right form. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There. Now I know which ones I am putting into the description box. Now, let's go back over here so that I can show you. Stop talking. interrupting me. Here we go. This one. All right. This is Dr. Katie, Doc Mama C. Says bio. Creator, search, insights. Trust me, I'm a doctor. Will never be enough again. Trauma's informed and person. Trauma informed and person centered care is the only way. Speaking as a patient with mast cell activation syndrome and other conditions, as well as that are chronic, that can't actually be cured, mast cell activation syndrome. I'm all for this. So this is Dr. Katie. This link will be in the description box. So let's take a listen. Get used to. Mm-hmm. Wait a second. Wait a freaking second. Oh, I mean, I wasn't even sharing the feed. Dr. Katie sounds a lot like Dr. Katie sounds a lot like one of my daughter's swim coaches when she was 5, because yeah, her swim instructor was like, "Oh, trust me, I know what I'm doing," and my daughter was like, "Yeah, I don't trust. Yeah, I don't trust you any further. I can throw you. You better show me that. You need to earn it." That's insane. Um, we're running longer than I thought I was or planning on for this video tonight, so I'm only going to do 5 at a time on these video responses to YouTube's and TikTok videos that are related to my chronic illness, allergies, medical gaslighting, and just general care in general, that relate to my platform in general. And I will watch the rest. I'll let you guys watch the rest of this video, and then I'll leave you with a few thoughts, and we will continue next week, Tuesday, with episode number 2, responding to comments and videos. If you happen to see a TikTok video or a YouTube video that you find interesting and would like my reaction to, I will blind react to it if you drop it in the comments. All right? It just needs to be relevant to my platform. That's all I ask. All right, let's finish watching this.
About health and joy, like we're talking about really serious things, and trust me, I'm a doctor just isn't enough. It applies to medicine, because it's like, if you've treated one patient, you've treated one patient. It doesn't matter if they have the same problem as another patient has had. That problem has a whole nother life in the context of that patient's life.
Bingo.
And in order to treat them accordingly, you have to develop a relationship and a trusting relationship for
Bingo.
you to be able to actually make progress and the patient to make progress. If you're watching this as a healthcare provider or a doctor, I guess this is just to say that, like, people don't trust us just because we have earned the title to be trusted. And I know that that can offend a lot of people because we've spent a lot of time, money, and like personal sacrifices to be here. But at the end of the day, this is that person's life, and our job is to care for them in a way that allows them to live out their best and most full life. And in order to do that, you can't just get away with saying, oh, well, trust me, I'm the doctor. No, you're going to need to provide a little bit more explanation, especially in the day and age where there is such a breakdown of trust between patients, doctors, and the healthcare system.
Yep.
That was just a tidbit of information for you guys, but Trust Me, I'm a Doctor is last year.
Yep. All right. So that is Dr. Katie on Dr. DOCTR .CAITIE. She is on TikTok. She's probably also on YouTube. I'm going to have to look her up. But I like her. I like her attitude. I like her honesty. I like her bluntness. I like the fact that she understands that, you know what, just because you got the white coat on does not mean that I'm automatically going to listen and to everything you say and automatically believe. I used to until I stopped, because every single thing that I thought I had wrong with me, because I know how to research. I'm a former journalist. I've written for the Detroit News. I've written for the Detroit Free Press. I've written for People. I've written for Redbook. I've written for the Washington Post. I've written for Latina Magazine. I have written for the Huffington Post, Yahoo Life. I have written for many, many major publications. I've spoken to countless experts. I know how to read peer-reviewed medical journals. And I'm the reason. I am the sole fucking reason that I am still alive. Because I've had way too many doctors say, trust me. And I did. Do you want to know what happened when I got an upper endoscopy 5 years ago? And this is my final point. I have had an allergy to something called ethylenolamine dihydrochloride diagnosed for 17 years. This is what makes me allergic to latex, all antihistamines except for Benadryl, diphenhydramine, makes me allergic to corticosteroids, makes me allergic to hydroxyzine, piperazines, antipsychotics, sunscreen, makes me allergic to dyes, makes me allergic to lotions, shampoos, soaps, makes me allergic to topical skin treatments, makes me allergic to everything, right? Makes me allergic. It's also used in medical waxes and lubricants. Now, I have had ethylenolamine dichloride on my allergy list in my file for 17 years. Before I had that endoscopy attempted, I'm sure they understood that this was a serious condition. I don't react well to anesthesia and whatever. I was trying my freaking damnedest to make sure that I came out of the surgery the same way I went in, alive. Okay. and I was given Zofran before the procedure because I said that I didn't react well to anesthesia. I completely didn't even connect that Zofran anti-nausea medication contains ethylene hydrochloride. I also didn't think to ask, how do you get the scope down someone's esophagus? You can't just shove it down. They're gonna gag and throw up while they're under, and throw on their back. That's not a good thing. Yeah, it has to be medically lubricated to be able to go down. Do you know that my experience? I woke up apparently about 15 to 20 minutes later in the recovery room, thinking it had been hours because my daughter and husband were holding hands at the end of the bed and looking at me, waiting for me to wake up. And then I realized the doctor is standing at the foot of my bed. And that's when I should have realized something did not go right. And I was like, how'd it go? What did the test show? Doctor very calmly says, oh, we had to stop it right after we got the scope past your tonsils. Your airway slammed shut, your esophagus slammed shut, and we had to yank out the scope and initiate rescue measures. But don't worry, the anesthesiologist knows what to do for you next time. So on your way out, just make sure you make an appointment for 2 weeks from now, and we'll see you then, okay? And literally kicks me out the door as soon as I could stand. Now, do you know what happens if you go to an emergency room after you have EPI'd, or if you have an anaphylactic reaction while you're in a hospital? Do you know what usually happens? You're kept for observation for 2 to 3 hours minimum, usually, because of the likelihood or the possibility of a biphasic or secondary reaction. Consider it the allergic version of an aftershock to an earthquake. And they got me out of there so fast, our heads were spinning. Want to know why? Well, this is just a theory, and it happened too long ago to do anything about it anyway. My car has more rights than I do. If the mechanic screws up my brakes and I get into a car accident and hit a tree, and nobody gets hurt, I'd have better luck finding a lawyer than I would to try and get compensation for any of the medical trauma and medical PTSD that I deal with on a daily basis that affects every portion of my life. Because trust me, I'm a doctor. No, not anymore. Not anymore. You have to earn it. And the first step to earning that trust is by if you say, trust me, I'm a doctor, and my response is, will you respect me and my knowledge of my own body and my own experience as a patient? And will you take into account the knowledge and the research that I share with you? And if he or she says no, I don't go back. You deserve the right to be listened to. You deserve good medical care. You deserve to be respected. And you deserve more than, trust me, I'm a doctor. Trust your gut. Trust your gut. You probably know more about your body and your condition than most doctors are going to see. So Hey, Cynthia. How you doing, babe? You deserve to be listened to. You deserve to be heard. And if a doctor gets his or her knickers in a fucking twist because, oh no, they have an informed patient that happened to Google something. Yeah, I Googled the NCBI, the NIH, JAMA, and about 15 peer-reviewed medical journals, MFR. Okay, do you know what that means? That means I know how to read this shit. That means I know how to translate this stuff. That means that I have actually run the differentials and figured out that I don't just have mast cell activation syndrome, I also have histamine intolerance because PMDD alone, premenstrual dysphoria, did not explain all of my symptoms. I knew something else was wrong. Why was slow cooked pork making me projectile vomit every single time I eat it? Why was I having panic attacks that were so debilitating that I would literally have to pull over on the side of the road because they weren't just panic attacks, because I was having actual anaphylaxis. I don't know how many actual anaphylactic reactions I survived. While, trust me, I'm a doctor, was being whispered into my ears by the doctors who were actually threatened by the fact that I knew how to research, and they did not like the fact that I was coming in telling them what was wrong, what I suspected was wrong with me. Now I understand I'm autistic. I'm ADHD. I'm working on trying to communicate a little less. Never mind. No, I'm not. Basically, if I let a doctor know I'm autistic, okay? I have ADHD. I've been writing for 20 years. I've written for a ton of publications. I know how to do my research, and I need a doctor who is going to be willing to work with me, listen to me, tell me if I'm on the right path or not. I don't need a yes man, yes ma'am, or yes man, or yes ma'am. I don't need a doctor to validate what I'm thinking. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I just need a doctor to help me eliminate the possibility and move on to the next topic and figure out what the hell's wrong with me, because obviously something is, because I have kids pointing at me on the street asking me what's wrong with my face. You hear what I'm saying? So, yeah, Dr. Katie, thank you for that video. I 100% respect what you're saying. And let's just say I hope certain other medical providers who, at this point, I wouldn't trust for a back or a spinal adjustment. Yeah, let's hope. Let's hope they see that too, because I find it very interesting that the last live that I saw for a certain autoimmune focused functional medicine doctor mentioned previously in this video. You can find the links in the description box after I finish uploading. Someone else asked him where he earned his degree, his medical degree in functional medicine, and where he earned his where he did his residency for immunology, and and a few other questions. All I did was reply factually to the other commenter because the question I knew was not going to be touched by Dr. Autoimmune. And all I said was, he's a chiropractor with a functional medicine certificate. And I saw an immediate thank you from the commenter. And then I saw that I got a notification that my comments were going to be deleted. And then I just got blocked. I've been blocked probably by half of the chiropractors on TikTok already. They don't block you unless let's just say that's all the answers that we need. Okay. If you have any questions about trying to find a doctor that is legit, that other doctors will respect, because mine certainly was not happy when I went down this route and said, nope, I will not take that. That diagnosis does not count from that doctor. You need to find a doctor who is an MD or an NP nurse practitioner. And so I started again from the drawing board. Okay, that's what happened. That's what happened. And you know what? I'm glad she made me do it. Don't just trust blindly just because they're wearing the white coat. Remember, not every doctor graduated valedictorian. There's always somebody who graduated at the bottom of their class. And I sincerely wish that every doctor was required to below their name and all of the initials that they have after their name, signifying what they've learned or what their specialty is. I sincerely wish they were required to also show their GPA in college and what number they graduated out of how many in their class. And that's all I've got for now. All right. Stay safe, stay well. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. Please like, share, and subscribe. I am trying to get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube before December 26th, which is my birthday. And that would be an amazing birthday gift. Thank you so much. And I will try coming back tomorrow. And this time we're going to try to go. I did pretty good this time. We're at 1 minute and 12 seconds. I didn't realize that some of the videos were that long. So we're just going to stick to five videos next time. And so I think we did 7 today. Anyway, if you want me to respond to a video, you want my thoughts on a video, drop it in the comments. I'll take a look and we'll see if I get to it in the next one. And please check out my Patreon and follow on TikTok if you like. Mast cell activation syndrome, latex allergy, coconut allergy, EDS, gastroparesis, chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, autism, ADHD, chronic pain syndrome, medical PTSD, autism, and ADHD severe, all formally diagnosed. That's just me. And Behçet's disease that causes my body to attack its own blood vessels and can cause everything from blood clots to DVTs to CVTs to those are types of blood clots to hearing loss and eyesight loss. I don't know if that means temporary. I've seen different things. I say temporary and or permanent. It can also cause seizures, slurring, and strokes, and a bunch of other fun stuff. So yeah, I got diagnosed with that at the Mayo Clinic too. And my 17-year-old got diagnosed with everything except for Behçet's. And we're going to get her evaluated for that soon too, because unfortunately she's showing some of the same signs that I have. So yeah, don't just blindly trust. You're worth more than that. You are worth more than that. Remember that. Stay safe. I'll see you in the next video. Make sure you like and subscribe. And have a good night.